Hi, I'm Susan Schaefer. I live part-time in Ashland, Oregon, part-time in San Francisco. And I think I thought a lot about whether or not to come, and mostly because I wanted to come to Israel for good news. And I found mixed news. I think it's been a terrific trip, and we've had really good exposure, first to Ramallah and Palestine, and then Israel. I thought the contact with individuals was most meaningful, and I'm really grateful for it. And I'd like at this moment to go back to Palestine, having been in Israel, to go back and forth between the two societies to know the questions to ask. But everywhere we've been treated so well. I felt absolutely safe. I felt welcome in the country, and although we're with a group, so you don't have individually your contact is with the guides and the people you're introduced to. But
can you recall the profiles? You know, the names are less important, but the profiles of a couple people who spoke to
that
the
I
group
won't
that
forget.
you really, yes, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah. I think it's in Israel, actually. There are two people that have left the strongest impression. And one was a member of the Labor Party, the Knesset, who is very interested in dialogue. And if they get elected, and he seemed to feel pretty confident that they have a good chance in the Knesset in the next election, he was very articulate and offered a much more open attitude. And then the last person we met was a retired brigadier general who knew the whole history, had been participated in the whole history. And he's a very positive and inspiring person, really. Such contrast to the very first person we met in Palestine, who was perhaps the same age, I don't know, who was carrying the baggage still, and carrying the aggressive attitude. He said at the end to state, but you didn't feel as if he meant it. You didn't. He was very much a politician, so he was all over the map, and a lot of vitriol. And well, he had been he'd lost his eye in an attack, so he'd been personally threatened, and so maybe those three. But unfortunately, because after we met Bassam, who was the Palestinian, we did go to a school in Birzeit, which I found really interesting and inspiring, to meet some of the young people who all they want is a life and freedom to move forward.
Well, Susan, you've expressed the trip and your feelings very well, and I really appreciate that you've taken the time to share this with people. And your impressions are very insightful. And any parting words for someone who might want to consider such a trip, or might have concerns of some type?
Well, I would have no concerns, and I definitely would come. I think it's been a great trip, and the highlights are definitely the contacts we've had with people that, shall we say, at the high end. I mean, the day in Jerusalem where we went to the judiciary, to the Knesset, to the foreign services buildings, meeting, that was a day I'll never forget, and I've never had in any country before to meet people at that level. And so yes, it's a great trip.
Well, Susan, thank you for sharing, and most importantly, thank you for being here during the trip.
Well, thank you.